It's 14:50 on the 22nd of September, and I'm uploading from the southwest of Ireland, where I'm healing from very dangerous offences that have occurred against the Hippocratic Oath. I'm uploading also for the interest of those that are concerned about the safety and success of the Brexit and COVID developments that have arisen from my experiences, strengths, and hopes of over 2 decades, and that have arisen from my service in 3 state departments and from a huge research and recovery, and my practices in mental health and education also. So there are individuals in this community that are imposing very offensive acts against my good name, character, and reputation, and they're subjecting my research and my recovery to fraud. Now, these people have been offending my good name for 2 decades in this community, and they haven't been respectful of the arts, and there's been a lot of creative intellectual property theft as well. So we've seen the repercussions, as I keep reiterating, we've seen the repercussions for their defamation of my good name. They have debts that are quite huge as well, and they've also unfortunately implicated my little boy in their issues that they've caused when mentioning my name in ill will while stealing my wealth and spending my money. This situation is grotesque, it's crude, it's disgusting. I'm fully aware of that, but it's criminality, and it offends all the social reform that I'm responsible for worldwide. There has been a pandemic, and it's called COVID-19, that originated from my portfolio. So those that are denying the truth or not working with the facts. COVID-19 originated from mental health issues of ASBOs that are guilty of spitting and contamination in society. I am of the Victim Support Federation. I'm also with Narcotics Anonymous. There have been unlawful detainments by the Kerry University Hospital where they had no right or remit with me. I wasn't a patient of the Kerry University Hospital. I wasn't suffering from a mental health illness. I was a married mother. And I was being offended by people trespassing on my farms in 2017 and trespassing into my personal space also in 2017. So this happened when I became married, which is astonishing that people would offend my nuptials with crime, offends the Roman Catholic Church, and offending my little boy that I gave birth to within the Roman Catholic Church also with crime. So these are the matters of the crimes that have been conducted, unlawful actions by the representatives of the Kerry University Hospital, gave rise to all the corruption that was occurring being resolved, that I single-handedly instigated the reparations of society and recovery of health and wealth as a consequence of the wrongdoings I experienced, unfortunately. So those that are trying to lay claim to any COVID or Brexit portfolios, please be careful. It's academic research, it's academic recovery. I have my work protected, and people that are offending democracy and committing crimes against democracy and all the reforms that have arisen from my experiences, strengths, and hopes, I would ask people to err on the side of caution when exploiting or monetizing from my studies and from my practices as a mental health practitioner and an educator. It's quite offensive that any woman's professional portfolio be offended, especially in a modern day and age. It's not safe to offend anyone's credentials. So these people that are being irresponsible, thinking that they were detained unlawfully by representatives of the Kerry University Hospital, if they're confusing themselves with my experiences, then I have concerns for their perception of themselves, their identity that they have, with the confusion they're causing around what has happened. So those that aren't within remit or discussing my name, my royal name is not for the discussion of those that are of crimes against the state and that are of crimes against COVID and Brexit. Those that are discussing my titles and my names and my positions without addressing their debts and theft from the Kerry University Hospital grounds in 2017, unfortunately, are a liability to the Hippocratic Oath. So I hope there aren't professional medics out there that would be compromised in any way by those that haven't the respect and decency to uphold the Hippocratic Oath. So those people that haven't got the quality or calibre to uphold their positions properly might be careful about offending other people's qualifications and credentials when they can't work with their own properly. This issue is quite serious. COVID is huge, so is Brexit, and I'm really concerned about people thinking that they're going to be entitling themselves to my research and my practices as an educator and mental health practitioner of recovery that happened in 2019 officially. So this is for the interest of the United Nations. This matter is ongoing every day. People false reporting or people continuing to conduct financial theft from me. The state still hasn't addressed the debts it owes me, and that's quite dangerous, especially as I'm a married mother, and especially as there's been awful violations to the legal system, offences against the judiciary as well. So there have been changes in that matter too. With regard to the judiciary and those people that are committing crimes against whistleblower protection laws or Royal Protocol of 4 jurisdictions that I'm of, with my natural birthrights being taken into consideration. Those people that are committing crimes against the state, I'm very concerned for the crime prevention that I'm of, being offended with more crime. It's a dangerous cycle, and it's not going to be saving people's futures if the source of good that has come from my experiences, strengths and hopes is going to be offended by people that have been mentioning my name in ill will and stealing from my work and my wealth with bad initiatives, poor initiatives that aren't properly accredited. So the United Nations, there's an issue of ASBO activity being conducted against all reform of COVID and Brexit that came from my portfolio, my credentials and my participation in state service. So those people that aren't qualified and that are conducting crime and risking innocent children's lives, these people have a child illegally from my care. That's the most sinister and unsafe action. The child that they took was not legally from my with any proper paperwork. So just so UNICEF is aware, this problem has spiraled out of control with inaction. Those that are doing nothing except supporting the problem, unfortunately, are making more problems. So those that are aware of the crimes against the Hippocratic Oath and the damages to my face as a consequence of the Department of Housing, Heritage and Local Governance not addressing these issues is more casualty, and that's not safe for the children with all the foundations I've laid for people's futures to be safe and secure with the reforms that have happened. So I hope my crime prevention's not being offended. Those that are tweaking the legislation and that are stalking me and that are suffering from mental illness and that are of blasphemy, please be aware that the crimes committed, the individuals responsible had no right or remit whatsoever. They're in a huge breach of huge big laws, and they're still continuing on a vain cause where they're so seriously indebted and they really aren't within remit. So as long as there's a homelessness issue trying to be espoused by people that are after causing casualty in County Kerry, my farm holdings are unsafe for trespass, and anyone that is aware of where the bunch of keys are to the 18 Rock Street apartment where I was staying, they would be advised to locate that bunch of keys and to replace or return any of my belongings that are from that apartment. Those that are making exacerbatory retaliatory crimes against all social reform that has originated from me are making themselves unsafe, with all monies owing to my name for damages, harms and losses since 2006. So this community has already seen the repercussion of crime. I don't support fraud or corruption. So if those bunch of keys aren't located, then I can't guarantee safety to people's homes that I've been prospering and protecting for a very long time. I'm a royal mother and I'm a royal humanitarian, and this state has been reformed as a consequence of me. So those people that are being cheeky with my portfolio and my credentials are not making themselves safe, offending the law. So if you're intending on behalf of any mental health practitioners to stalk my personal safety, please be aware you're making your children unsafe. The issue of my child illegally from my care is a crime, and UNICEF and the United Nations, this is very clear, this is explicit and it's fully substantiated and it's already reported. So as long as it's ongoing, unfortunately there are going to be more problems with people spending money that doesn't belong to them and that they haven't addressed their debts and dues with all the crimes occurring. So Kerry University Hospital, you have no right or remit, neither do your practitioners of the Caravan Village, Caravan House area. So please understand Royal Protocol. You're not welcome in my proximity where you've been causing defamation, damages, disrespect and misdiagnosis. You're an aspect of offence for those that have respect for the Hippocratic Oath. So children are now being put at risk, and the prosperity and protection I've been creating, unfortunately, isn't priority with the crime I'm being presented with. So those that have issues understanding the situation, please look at my documentary properly and try and learn from a sociological issue or perspective the reality of the circumstance. Those that are already guilty of damaging the Hippocratic Oath, please be careful with your witchcraft practices on my body. I'm aware that people have been damaging my sanitary conditions in 18 Rock Street as well, and they have been doing quite dirty experiences or experiments that aren't exactly within the Roman Catholic context acceptable. So those that are supporting crimes against the Women and Children's Charter and the Roman Catholic Church, please be careful about these matters, especially with fraud being associated with my farms, where there is a very dangerous issue already after occurring with farm crime. I think that's as much of an update as I need to relay. The point is clear. Those that are causing bodily integrity damages, I hope they're aware of the protection that they've offended and that they're in trouble with. There's huge protection laws around Royal Protocol that I am of. So please don't put yourselves at risk. I'm only saying it in the best interest of the culprits that haven't learned from the past, those that have no right or remit to my identity and that are offending my name and my family. Please be careful about the practices that you're using that aren't recognised legally or ethically. And if you're from any establishment or agency that is associated with anything that is of mental health fraud, that being defamation or anything like that, please be aware that COVID is being damaged as a consequence. I'm responsible for COVID. So the United Nations and UNICEF, I'd appreciate you contacting me immediately. Southwest Ireland is only presenting me with problems, and there's an issue. So it's a sad side of the times.